What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in, guys. Happy Tuesday. This is our NBA and NHL Tuesday playoff show. This is a full sports betting show. Obviously, going to talk a little bit of news, some updates, etc. But at the end of the day, we are here to bring you the best bets of the day. I'm Riggs Tamburo. This is the Sports Forum. Picking winners is the show for you, and that's exactly what we are going to do. We're going to kick things off here with the NHL and then get on into the NBA. Make sure if you guys aren't following us already, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, you can go ahead and find us at Sports Forum CO. You see it on the bottom of the screen there, sportsforummedia.com. Go ahead and check out all the latest articles, as well as our YouTube channel at The Sports Forum. Do us a big favor, click that subscribe button. We appreciate you guys as always. But not going to waste any more time here. We got 29 more minutes to go ahead and get you the best bets of the day. Taking a look here, the very first game on the board, the Senators are on the road here, taking on the Maple Leafs. Senators got their backs against the wall in this one. Got to find a way to win the final 3 games of the series if they want to knock off the Toronto Maple Leafs here. Obviously, the Maple Leafs kind of one of those teams trying to prove a point every single year. It's the same story. They fall short, trying to get that bad taste out of all their fans' mouths. Well, they got a chance here to go ahead and get it done in front of their home crowd after dropping that last game in overtime 4-3 in Ottawa. So all that said, guys, as you see here, looking at the line, Maple Leafs, a decent favorite, but not a big favorite per se. Minus 175 here on the money line, plus 145 for Ottawa. Over under 5.5 goals. Go ahead and split that one down the middle. Call it minus 110 on both sides of that number. So pretty interesting layout here. I will say, looking at the last 4 games of the series, you got 6-2, 3-2, 3-2, and 4-3. The last 3 games, game 2, 3, and 4, all found their way into overtime. So while the Maple Leafs are ahead 3-1 here, the Senators have done their job for the most part and hung around. And even when you look at the game where the Senators lost 6-2, it was a 1-1 game there for the majority of the first period. So the Senators have really played pretty darn well in this series, just not a lot to show for it. You lose 2 of your 3 overtime games, but here you are, big opportunity. So all of that said, guys, I do have a pick for you in this game. We're going to go ahead and rock with the over 5.5 goals here. Like I mentioned about these games, a lot of overtime, 3-2, 3-2. Well, that's 2 games on the under 5.5, but it's also 2 games on the over with 7 goals and 8 goals. When you do the math, this series averages about 6 goals per game, about 5.75 goals per game. So leaning towards the over here. Also, one other thing to mention is the Senators got to come out here and they got to strike early if they want to win this game against the Maple Leafs. You look at the last game, Senators came out, scored 2 goals, and had the first period lead there in that game. Same kind of thing I'm expecting here, whether it's them scoring the goals or them overcommitting to the offensive side of the puck and then getting beat defensively. I think we're going to see some goals here in the first period. I feel like it's a 2-goal first period. I hope it's a 6-goal first period, to be completely honest with you. But I think we're going to see a few goals here right off the rip in this game. Now, all of that said, I also believe we're going to see some empty netters here at the end. Let's say the Maple Leafs are the ones holding the lead at the end of the game. The Senators could be down 3-1 with 3 minutes to go. They could pull the goalie twice, just trying to find a way to get it done. 2 empty netters, and just like that, you have the over. I wouldn't feel good about the under in this game, no matter how you cut the cake. I'm actually shocked that this number isn't 6.5, at least 6, maybe like minus 120 on the under of the 6. 5.5 for me feels like a very, very generous number. I'm going to rock with the over here between empty netters, overtimes, the Ottawa Senators coming out hot, the Maple Leafs relatively having a lot of success offensively in this series. Everything points towards the over. I think it's the best bet in this game. If I was forced to pick a winner here, I would lean towards Toronto. But with the last 3 games going to overtime, I think it's easy to argue the value is with Ottawa in this game. So for me, I'm choosing not to bet it. I don't really want to take the Maple Leafs to win by 1.5 or more. They definitely can. And if you're going to take the Maple Leafs, I guess you might as well take them minus the 1.5 goals there with the empty netter. But since it could go to overtime, if anything, I would bet overtime in this game. It's plus 375 here. Pretty damn good odds for a series that's already seen 3 of 4 games go to overtime. So favorite bet there, over 5.5 goals. Good luck to you guys in game number 1. Then we move on down there. The New Jersey Devils, the Hurricanes come into this game. Very, very interesting game here when you look at this series as a whole. The Hurricanes at the moment, in my opinion, are outplaying the Devils pretty heavily. The Devils do have 1 win in this series so far, but a 3-1 series lead here for the Carolina Hurricanes. And here they come again back in Carolina. You look at the 4 scores so far. Hurricanes take game 1, 4-1. Take game 2, 3-1. Then the Devils steal 1 in double overtime in New Jersey, 3-2. And finally, the Devils, looking to build off that momentum, fell completely short in game 4. 5-2 win there on the road for Carolina. Looking to close this series out, get a little bit of rest before the next series. They need the rest here. It's a gauntlet over here in the NHL playoffs. I'm going to go ahead here, guys, and keep this pretty simple. I like Carolina to win this game. Also, if you like Carolina to win this game, I know we've seen 1 of the 4 games go to overtime. I'm not too worried about it here. Now, if it does go to overtime, I still want the Hurricanes because their goaltending's better, their offense, their power play, the penalty kill, it doesn't really matter. They're the better hockey team here. But all of that said, if forced to pick here, I think I'd go minus the 1.5 here on Carolina. You see it plus 100 here. You can find it up to plus 110 if you're looking for some juice. I think it might be worth it there at the 110 number, but I don't really like it at much under that. Now, all of that said, my favorite bet here in this game is the Hurricanes on the money line. It's actually a pretty big bet for me. We're going Hurricanes money line and an NBA piece for the parlay. So stay tuned for that one. I will give you that parlay piece here very, very shortly. But the Hurricanes to win is the best overall bet in this game. Over under 5.5. Not a lot of value here. Minus 122 on the over under there on the under side of the puck. Once again, a desperate Devils team on the road. Same scenario as the Maple Leafs game. The home team looking to close it out. I just don't see all that much value here when you really break it down, guys. So once again, for me personally, I'm just going to go Carolina Hurricanes to win the game, but I do have a parlay piece for you, so stay tuned for that one. But moving on through, Minnesota Wild and the Golden Knights, definitely the most slept on of all the series so far. Wild on the road here in this game. Wild also coming in a relatively sizable dog here, plus 185 on the money line. Golden Knights at home, minus the 225 number. This series, folks, for those not paying attention, the Minnesota Wild are hanging in this series. And to be completely honest with you, the Wild should be up 3-1 right now in this series. They let the last game slip by them there in Minnesota. The 4 games so far, Golden Knights at home took game 1 4-2. Then the Wild came right back in Vegas and beat them 5-2. Then you go back to Minnesota. The Wild win 5-2 again in back-to-back games. They outscore them 10-4 over that 2-game stretch. And then the Golden Knights in overtime get the win there. Game 4 in Minnesota, 4-3. Minnesota had this game locked down, man. The Golden Knights scored 2 goals in the 3rd period and then the overtime winner to go ahead and get it done. But I'll tell you what, in my opinion, and I'll tell you what, if you ask me, my opinion matters. I watch a lot of hockey. Minnesota is outplaying Vegas at this very moment. I would say Kaprizov looks like a man possessed. You got a Hurdle looking great. There's a lot of good pieces going on right now for the Minnesota Wild. I'm sorry, not Hurdle. Boldy is looking phenomenal over there. But the Golden Knights did find a little bit of success there in game 1 in Vegas. If they can roll that over, I think they're going to be decent here. But let me tell you right now, from a sports betting point of view, when I say the word value, folks, there is no value on the line here for the Vegas Golden Knights, minus 225. This is a public betting number. Everybody sees Vegas at home against the Wild, and they take the Vegas Golden Knights. And I'm not saying I blame you. Vegas should win this hockey game. They're due for an actual good game. They haven't had a good game since the very first game of the series, but I'm not impressed by that faulty win there in game 4. Yes, it was good the way they rallied, but they got outplayed for the first 2 of 3 periods, and I'm not convinced that the Minnesota Wild can't beat them. Also, worth noting, Minnesota is one of the best road teams in the National Hockey League. They were phenomenal. We cashed loads of tickets on them at the plus money number on the road this year. And really, I don't see why you wouldn't want to try them here again. I'm going to look at the Minnesota Wild to go ahead and win this hockey game at the plus 185 number. You can take them plus 1.5 at minus 142. No value in that, especially because most teams lately that win by 2, 3, 4 goals. Now, if it goes to overtime, that would win, but at minus 142, I'd rather just bet Wild money line, maybe go a quarter or a half a unit on the overtime to happen here in this game. And at the end of the day, if Vegas win 5-2, whatever, move on to the next one. The Wild have made a lot of money for bettors so far. And I also believe when it goes back to Minnesota, if they lose this game, spoiler alert, I'm slamming them in game number 6. But all of that said, guys, a couple player props for you here. Starting with the Golden Knights, really like Mark Stone for 1 point in this game. Been a little sleepy here in the postseason so far. Mark Stone, the captain, one of those players that tends to kind of put the team on his back. Hasn't really done a lot so far in this series. I think he wakes up a little bit in this game. I don't know if it's a goal per se, but I think he's going to be in on the action. It could be a goal. It could be an assist or 2, but I like him to record a point. And I want to remind everybody, when I say point, go to your sports book, go look at player props or wherever you want to look for it. You got to remember, a point is not a goal. I want to make that very clear. A point is a goal or an assist, either one. So if they're in on a goal, they get the win there. So there's an assist, there's a goal, and there's a point. We're going with a point in this game for Vegas's Mark Stone. We're also going to go with a point in this game for Mats Zuccarello there for the Minnesota Wild. Juicy plus money here, plus 110 on Zuccarello. Dude was great throughout the year, especially in the assist category. I think he plays another big part here in this game. Also been pretty decent on the power play, been in a lot of action. Not a lot to show for it per se when you look at the stats, but he's been doing things I think he's due. I like Matt Zuccarello there for 1. Then finally, going to go the player prop parlay. We're going to go Kaprizov for 1 point, the star there for the Minnesota Wild, and Hertl, Tomas Hertl for 1 point as well. You parlay those two plus 125 for y'all in this one. So some really fun player props there. Good luck to you guys. Also, if you're feeling ballsy, you're feeling gutsy, I think it's worth sprinkling the Minnesota Wild on the money line here. But be careful. They're in Vegas. Really tough place to play. Good luck to you guys in that one. Finally, the 4th and final hockey game on the board here for us on the slate. Let's go ahead and move that down for you guys so you can see the odds. The Oilers and the Kings. The Oilers on the road here, plus 114 on the money line. You look at the Kings, minus 135. Pretty interesting, by the way, if you are looking for some better odds, you can find the Oilers up to plus 120. You can also find the Kings for as low as minus 125 in this game. So definitely do your research and try to find yourself the best lines here. But looking at the first few games of this series, you got the Kings taking game 1 6-5. A little bit deceiving there, though. The Kings completely outplayed them in that game, had about a 5-2 lead, 5-1 lead at one point. The Oilers, McDavid goes nuts in the third period. They find a way to bring it back to 5-5. And then ultimately, the Kings did what they always do. They're at home. They win at home. They win 6-5. Then Kings in game 2, very similar thing, but McDavid did not put the team on his back for that game there late. 6-2 Kings, so 6-5 Kings, 6-2 Kings. Then the Oilers bounce back in Edmonton, 7-4, and the Oilers take another game there in game 4, 4-3, that one coming in overtime. Also in that game, I think it's worth noting that the Kings had a 3-1 lead with a few minutes left in the game. Oilers score 2 in the third period and then win it in overtime. So truly the Kings are really heavily outplaying the Oilers in this series, but result-wise, the Oilers are finding a way to hang in here. It's 2-2 right now. Let me tell you something. I've talked to a lot of people about this game, and I understand the people that are like, whoa, bro, I'm not passing up the Oilers at plus 110, plus 114, whatever. Look, I don't blame you, but I am. Give me the LA Kings here on the money line. Once again, minus 125. Go find the number. You can find the number. This is a great bet here, guys. The Kings have been the most reliable home team in the NHL throughout this 2024-25 season. I don't see a reason to turn back now. We cashed on them in both of the first two games at home. We stayed off of it in game 3 and in game 4, and here we are for game number 5. Pretty simple. When the Kings play at home, I'm not fading them unless there's a big red flag with a goaltender or something, and there's not in this game. So maybe the Oilers find a way to win it back in Edmonton, but for now, give me the Kings on the money line. Don't overthink this one. If they lose, we can live with it. At least our members can over here at Blitz Betting. Once again, guys, winnable.com/blitzbetting. We have murdered the NHL playoffs so far, and we have not missed yet on the LA Kings, and we're not going to miss here today. So take the LA Kings money line. Good luck to you guys. It should be a fun one. But let's move on through here, get you guys some NBA on the board. A little bit of time left here. Only a few NBA games on the board, a solid 4 here. Not going to go as deep in the NBA. Going to go ahead and give you a few quicker picks here on this one. But all of that said, guys, I do want to drop you really, really quickly our 2 player props for the Kings-Oilers game. I did forget to say that. So, and I know you guys love your player props. So here's 2 juicy ones for you. We're going Leon Draisaitl, anytime goal scorer, plus 125. Draisaitl cashed for us in the last game. He also missed in the game previous, so we actually took him in the last game on purpose. But I do like him here again. And it's a little bit of a hedge here with our Kings bet. So Draisaitl to score, and also Adrian Kempe to score, spelled Kempe. He is a Kings player, absolute dog. He's going to score here in this one at plus 160. Between Draisaitl and Kempe, you hit one of them, you make money. You hit 2 of them, you make a shitload of money. You hit that with the Kings money line. Lord have mercy. Join sports, what is it? Winnable.com/blitzbetting. Don't overthink it, guys. We're cashing in. Good luck to you there. But moving on through here, I know I'm moving pretty quick, guys, but I have to move quick here. We got about 11 minutes left for you. Looking at the NBA, once again, I'm going to go ahead and start with that parlay that I was talking about with the Hurricanes money line. We're putting 1 unit on all the other bets that we gave you, okay? But we're putting 2 units on this play for you right here. Carolina Hurricanes on the money line, Indiana Pacers on the money line as well. The Pacers here are playing at home against the Bucks. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to this series, but this is a highly, highly one-sided series. Not quite what the Cavs just did, but it's right up there with kind of just an absolute beatdown. I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that the Bucks even got a win in this series. I know they got the win there 117-101 in game 3. It was due, but let's take a look here at the 4 scores, because I think once you hear the scores, it kind of tells you how this series is going. Pacers take game 1 in Indiana 117-98. Then they take game 2 123-115. Head on down to Milwaukee. The Bucks get the win 117-101. And then right back there, just a day and a half later, really call it 2 days, the Pacers beat them 129-103 on Sunday in their own building. This to me is an unmotivated Bucks team. Things aren't going their way. Guys are starting to get a little bit beat up. It just doesn't seem like they can hang with this Pacers team. I am happy because we called this one over at Blitz Betting. I keep wanting to say at the Sports Forum, at Blitz Betting, powered by the Sports Forum. And we have murdered the Pacers so far. We're going to take them again here. Pacers money line, Hurricanes money line, 2-unit play here, minus 120. Good luck to you guys in that one. Should be a lot of fun. If the Bucks cover, maybe. If they do win, I'll be very surprised. Only way they beat the Pacers here is the Pacers start completely flat for both the first 2 quarters. I don't think it happens, so I'm going to go Pacers to get the win. Whether it's by 1 or 50, I think they're going to win this game. So good luck to you there. Then Pistons taking on the Knicks in game number 2. This one's 7:35 p.m. Eastern time for all you guys. The Pistons come in here on the road, a 5.5-point dog, plus 185 here on the money line. Knicks minus 5.5, minus 225, and a relatively low score in this game for the over-under, 213.5. Now, once again, don't know if you guys have been watching this series, but one of those series where I think there's been a clear team that is playing better basketball. And spoiler alert, it's not the team that's ahead in this series. The Knicks lead here 3-1. Take a look at the scores, though. Knicks 123-112. Then the Pistons win on the road 100-94. Then the Pistons lose in their own building by 2, 118-116 in game number 3. And finally in game 4, the Pistons lose again by 1 point, 94-93. First of all, they lost 2 games in their own home by a combined 3 points. 2 points and 1 point. And I want to let you know something. First of all, the Pistons got, I'm going to excuse my language. If you got a kid listening, mute it real quick. They got fucked in game number 4. There was a foul shooting at the very end. Should have been 3 free throws. He would have definitely hit at least 2 of them. The Pistons would have won the game. They got screwed in that game. Now, you take a look here at the Pistons and the Knicks so far. The Pistons not only have kind of come out stronger than the Knicks, but they've also, in my opinion, finished stronger than the Knicks in every game except that last game. They didn't look like they had their full thing going on in the fourth quarter, but they did come out in the second quarter and especially in the third quarter, and they outplayed the Knicks. I believe the Pistons are playing better basketball. I also know that the Pistons can beat the Knicks in New York, and it's a very, very tough place to play, but they already beat them by 6 in the first, I shouldn't say in the first time there, but the second game of the series so far. So I really like the Pistons in this game, guys. I'm going to go ahead, and I think it's worth taking a look at the 5.5 points only because they've beat them by 6. They've lost by 1, they've lost by 2, and they've lost by 11. I think it's worth a look. I wish it was a better number. Me personally, though, I got a little bit of a different bet for you guys here. I'm going with the Pistons plus 12.5. Same game parlay. Pistons plus 12.5 under 224.5. Put those two together, minus 110. If you guys are new around here, I always recommend NBA same game parlays. The best value about 95% of the time is found on BetMGM. So if you have BetMGM, do yourself a favor and put your same game parlays for NBA in on there. Now, to be fair, best player props for NHL tend to be on FanDuel. Different things like that. Touchdown scores tend to be better on BetMGM. There's a lot of different things that are better here, worse there, whatever. Always do your research. Try to find the best lines. Do yourself a favor. There's a big difference, guys, in getting the same team at minus 120 versus plus 100 somewhere else. And I promise you, it does fluctuate that much on a lot of numbers. So do your homework. But anyway, same game parlay, Pistons plus 12.5 and under 224.5. I think the Pistons are worth maybe a sprinkle on the money line here, but the same game parlay is the move. Good luck to you guys in that one. Then moving on through Magic Celtics. This series kind of feels like it's all but over, but it's not quite over yet. You got the Celtics, coming in up 3-1 here in this series. Boston so far did take game 1, 103-86. Then they took game 2, 109-100. So the Magic have not won in Boston yet. Game 3, the Magic win 95-93. They squeak one out there to go ahead and keep themselves alive. And then they lose in game 4, 107-98. But when you break it all down, the Magic so far have lost by 17, 9, and 9, and they've won by 2. So really, there's kind of a fluctuation here with how good the Celtics are playing, but I'll tell you what I don't like. The Celtics don't tend to win by 11 and a half or more points. And the Magic have hung in really tightly. I also want to point out the fact that look at the over-under in this game, 196. That's crazy. Yes, they're plus 470 on the money line. Yes, they're plus 11 and a half. But you guys got to remember, 196 in the NBA is insane. You have to have such a thin margin to win by 12 or more points and stay, let's say, under 196. It's so tight. You got to be getting like Celtics, 104, Magic 86. Like, it's right there. It's really close. I don't really think that 11 and a half points makes a lot of sense here. So if I was forced to pick a straight bet, I would go Magic plus the 11 and a half points. More importantly, I would do what we've been doing so far in this series for the most part, cashing a lot of tickets as well, is the Magic first half plus the points. Pretty crazy. 11 and a half on the full game total, but 7.5 points they're getting in the first half. That seems really high to me. I'm taking the Magic first half plus 7.5 points, as well as another same game parlay for you. Going to go Magic plus 17.5 and under 211.5. I know it sounds like a lot, but shout out BetMGM. They got us minus 110 odds here. It's insane. Once again, Magic plus 17.5 under 211.5. Can't believe these odds. Take advantage of it. We're looking for the big time win here. Hope you guys cash in. And really, I want to see the Magic make this a series, but at the same time, I kind of think they're dead in the water. But we'll see what happens. Finally, for you guys, looking here at the fourth and final game on the board, we got the Clippers and the Nuggets, arguably the best so far for all the series going on. Clippers come in here on the road in Denver, minus 1.5 points. Nuggets, very rare to see them as a dog in their own house, especially against a team like the Clippers. But you take a look here at the first few games of this series. The Nuggets win game one, 112-110 in overtime in Denver. Then they lose 105-102 in game number 2. So they win by 2. They lose by 3. Then in game 3, they get absolutely murdered, 117-83 there in LA. And finally, the Nuggets again win by 2 points, 101-99. We got a 2-2 series right now coming into Denver. And I will say, I believe that the Clippers are outplaying the Denver Nuggets. I like the Denver Nuggets, to be completely honest, but I'm also not a biased fan per se. I like the team, though. I really like Joker, but none of that matters here. The Clippers are coming in a 1.5 point favorite, minus 122. Over-under is 208.5. I think one thing worth noting also with the over-under in this game of 208.5, game number 1, yes, it finished 112-110 with 222 points. Game 2 finished with 207 points. But let me remind you guys, game number 1 was 98-98 before the game went to overtime. So it was actually pretty sizably on the under in that game. And then game 2 also did not cross this number here of the 208.5. So both games in Denver so far have been less than the number listed here. I just think it's very interesting. Also, game number 3 and game number 4 were all under. We haven't even seen 208.5 points scored yet. I'm leaning towards the under in this game. I think this number is a bit inflated. I'm not really sure why. Maybe they think that Harden's going to continue to shoot well, but the pace and the tempo has been so slow so far in this series. I'm going under 208.5. More importantly, though, we're going to go Clippers plus 8.5 points here and under 218.5. That comes in at minus 110 for you. Also, got 2 little straight bets for you guys for all the NBA games going on here. The Nuggets to win by 1 to 10 points is plus 220. We're going to go ahead and take a shot on that one. And then also the Knicks to win by 1 to 10 points is plus 180. So a lot of value for you guys. There's all the bets for you. I'm getting it in just in time. 20 seconds left here with you guys. One more time, sportsbetterswinnable.com/blitzbetting. Go ahead and follow us at Blitz Sports Bets on Instagram. You can also find us there on Twitter if that's the only platform where you are located. Sportsforummedia.com for all the articles for you guys. At Sportsforum CO, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, if you guys do not already watch us on Roku and Fire TV and you want to, go ahead and find us on your Roku and Fire TV under the 12-ounce sports app. Yes, 12-ounce, 12 OZ Sports. Go ahead and find us there, and you guys can go ahead and watch us on TV if you prefer to do that rather than on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, etc. But I got to get up out of here, guys. It's been a lot of fun. Happy Tuesday to all of you. Hope you guys all have a great day. Good luck on your sports bets. This is Picking Winners. I'm Rick Stamburo. Take care.